Greetings. Welcome once again to another session of Building on Base. And I'm your host, Mr. Gwes. And hopefully, I'll be joined by my colleague, Mr. Lloyd. So, yeah, hope everybody who's logged in so far is doing great. So, I'm going to do the usual and head straight into a disclaimer. And then we're going to get into some updates and talk about what's happening. So, give me one sec.
Today's conversation is for information and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial, technical, or legal advice. The views expressed are our own and do not represent Base, Coinbase, or any affiliated platforms.
Okay, so right. Um, it's another week. And for those that have been building on base, if you're a student, you know there's 1 week to go before the sorry, not the robotics, but the student track is closed. So go and check out base batches and check out the deadlines. You still have a week to submit. So this will be a great time for anyone to polish up on whatever, they might be building or might want to build. But of course, AI agents are the rage. So if you're building anything, try and look for AI agents infrastructure, AI agent UX, the user experience, the user interface. Because currently, AI agents are currently, I think, they're kind of like using the MS-DOS kind of like, graphic user interface, right? It's still kind of like that. And for humans, it's still text based. People are using Telegram or WhatsApp to communicate with AI agents. But there's a lot of talk that that's not what the future holds for us. We can't move from all these beautiful apps and this whole nice, beautiful user experience and then go back to the dark ages of computing where, we're just interacting via text model or chat model, which has been around forever. So yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities for anyone that might come up with some new ideas around the user experience, the user interface, and that interaction between, especially between human beings and AI agents. Some people might think voice might be a voice first environment, but it might just not be as well, right? Because sometimes a lot of the people nowadays, especially the young ones, want to be on their earphones. They don't even want to talk, right? So, so voice might not be first for people that are becoming more and more, how can I say it, introverted, less communication. So they might not want to be spending their time talking to AI agents, you know? So yeah, so that's a lot to think about. But it's definitely a green area, especially for young people that are very creative and that wanna, see the world in their own eyes. And because I think the future belongs to the young people. They're normally, pretty, they grow up on the internet, so they kind of understand culture. So yeah, so if you're young, you're a student, you've got some crazy ideas out there, join the base batches, student track, and yeah, so let's have a look at deadlines and what the requirements are. I'm just gonna pull it out for the benefit of those who never got a chance to, or haven't joined this live stream before. Um, I'm just gonna share my screen and then we just sort of quickly peruse through. Okay. All right. So the website is batches.base.org. Batches BATCHES.BASE.org. Okay. So just scroll down to the student track. Okay. And you click apply. Then it's going to take you to DevFolio, of course. And you obviously need to set up and register an account on DevFolio first before you can submit your application. And then you guys go through the brief, right? So it's pretty simple. You can be, in a team of two or more. So a minimum of okay, so sorry, you can be in a team of two or more, I believe. And Yeah, it could be a startup, it could be a product, it could be pre-launch, it could be post-launch, it doesn't matter. You could have a creative idea, but ultimately you shouldn't have raised anything more than 250K. So it's pretty ideal for fresh new, teams. And of course, the top 15 teams will receive a 10K grant each, right? So there's a lot of opportunity, guys. And then they'll have access, obviously, to the builder program. Um, and there will be a spot, I think, for the top teams to go to demo day in San Francisco. Okay. So a minimum of 3 teams will receive a 50K investment from Base Ecosystem Fund. So that's pretty awesome. And it's open to students from all over the world. Okay. So, teams can include, as you can see, undergraduate students or any student really, right? But of course, I think you got to be above 18 and have a passport, of course, guys. Have a passport, try and start applying for your US visa, clean up your social media, so you can get a US visa as well. So yeah, be careful what you post if you want to get that US visa. Um, yeah, and then top 5 teams will be flown to San Francisco. Okay. So it's a very competitive track, guys. You're competing against, some of the best in the world, some of the most creative, from all over the world. So if you're building this, guys, you know, think global, think AI, think agents, think automation, you know, or you could have a killer app. We're not saying don't think apps, but I think we know where the trends currently are, So a lot of the money is looking towards AI, it's looking towards automation, whether it's tooling, infrastructure, or automating any current processes that exist, right? But at the same time, you can use tools like, if you have access to tools like Claude 4.7, or Gemini 3.1, you can build like things that were pretty impossible a couple of months ago. So come up with those crazy, weird concepts, hopefully that are scalable. Okay. Right. So I'll keep going back in and out here to check on Lloyd, if he's going to join us. Okay. All right. So that's the student track deadline, 27th of April. So you really just have about, what's our date today? So yeah, you got like almost a week, 6 days. Yeah. So look out for that, guys, if you're a student. Okay. And then let's check on what's going on with Base. Okay. So the Base app, or rather the Base team, has been shipping quite a lot of new things. So there's constantly updates on the Base app, updates on the Base ecosystem. And I saw a new tool that they've shipped right now. It's something they're calling watch lists, right? Quick preview watch lists. So it's a feature, okay, it's in testing mode, but it's rolling out to all Base app users soon, and it's for creating, adding, managing token lists. Okay, so this is more trading. So I think if you've noticed, the Base app is really becoming very trading focused, right? However, like I was saying last week, the previous features that were on the Base app, like things like the timeline, the social features, it's up to you guys to develop that. It's up to all of us, not just you guys, to develop that as an app. So you can create it as a web app on Base, and you know add some type of monetization system to it. And yeah, there's a lot of content creators that were on the Base app and now suddenly either have to use Farcaster or Zora, right? But can still use something that you can create on the Base app. Okay. So if you create an app, a web app for the Base app, they could still access the social timeline within that. And of course, guys, over time, the Base app, will be rolling out, more tools to make it more seamless, to allow, to integrate with other apps and so forth, right? But right now they've been working on just getting, moving away from the social features, moving away from Farcaster, and getting the sort of the trading as the kind of like the primary thing. So if you've played around with the app, you'll see there's a lot of trading forecast stuff. You can like it's become easier to buy things, etc., etc. So the financialization of the app is really been top priority. But I believe this week they are also shipping some, new things, new user, experience for especially for how people access their own apps or mini apps on the base app. Okay, so that was kind of broken some time ago. If anybody's used it, you would have seen that the URL bar was at the bottom and it was affecting the user experience. But I believe there's an update coming this week that's going to make those changes. Okay. So yeah, so that's what's up. Is there anything else I'm missing? Okay, so there's still the referral friends, refer your friends, your circle of friends to get on the base app for the trading experience, and there's a reward program running there. Okay. Okay, so that's just about it on the base app. Let's see on what's happening on base quickly. Okay, so I think, okay, let's have a look. See, I saw something around, um, what did they call it? Something around the robotics track. I think the winners of the robotics track will be announced soon. I'm trying to see if they've announced anything. Not as yet. Okay. Okay, so I think there's something happening coming soon in terms of the finalists and all those that made it to the robotics track. I've seen some videos of the base house. Um, it's like the base residency, and they're playing around with the base robot. I saw it on social media, so I thought it was going to be on this account, but yeah, I can't quite remember. So that's coming up as well. So look out for that kind of stuff in terms of, who are the finalists. So, you can help shape your ideas around that as well. If you were interested in robotics, then it's a great start to look out for those finalists and then see from there. Okay, so there's nothing else on the base app. Okay, so now we're gonna. Oh, Lloyd has joined me. Okay, okay, I'm gonna chat to Lloyd quickly, and then I'll share my screen again. Lloyd, how you doing, my guy?
Hey Google, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Hi everyone. Hope everybody's having a based week. Yeah, glad to
Yeah,
be here as usual.
I'm good.
A bit late, but yeah.
Yeah, how's everything going on your end? What you been up to, man?
My day is going great actually. I mean it can always be worse. But
Yeah, it could be
it's
worse.
uh it's going great. I have busy day, have a few projects that I've been working on for some clients, and then I also have a few other projects that I think I'll be doing next week or the other week. So I'll probably share more on those as the week goes by. But yeah, busy week for
Nice.
me, and yeah,
Mhm. Nice, nice, nice.
yeah,
Yeah, so I was just giving everyone an update on what's happening on the base app. And one of the
awesome.
things I was talking about was I saw some guys from base post about the robotics track.
Oh, nice.
So they're playing around with the robot. There's a base, like a base residency, like a base, like, workspace, kind of like, or a
Mm.
creating space or something like that. And yeah, I can't actually quite find the social post, but it's somebody from the base team, and they've got some little robot, one of those small
Unity.
robots, the famous one. Yeah, it's running around in the base office. So yeah, so it looks like they should be announcing the finalists for the robotics track soon. And
Yeah,
yeah, we'll get to see what's going on with that. Yeah.
nice, nice. I
Yeah.
think I saw a video, but that
Mhm.
was, I think, last week. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It had the robot and everything, but I think they were just showing off the robot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen once again, and then we get straight to talking about. Remember, last week we spoke about creating the notification system, right?
Yeah.
For Yeah, it was for so yeah, on the base app. So if you have a web app or a mini app that you turned into a web app, you migrate it into a web app, and you want users to use it inside the base app, you now need to go to, the dashboard. So we're going to take you guys through that just now. Let me add my thing to stage. Okay, so you need to go to dashboard.base.org, get an API key. So you go to settings, configuration members. So you get an API key over there. You create an API key, and you then go to the base docs, right? So you save that API key somewhere. Go to docs.base.org. Search for notifications. Excuse me. Yeah, and then you basically like literally copy this whole page, right? And go and paste it in your, and ask it to create in your VS Code, ask it to create the notification system, right? And then at some point it's gonna ask you to add after you paste this, actually, it will ask you for the API key. Oh, no. Sorry. You don't ask you for the API key. You need to put the API key in your .env file, okay? And I think it's so it's called base underscore app underscore, no, what is it? No, it's base underscore API underscore key. That's the, then you paste it, okay? So yeah, so it's initially, I think I put it as base. What did I put it as? I put it as something else, and it didn't work. But then VS Code changed it to, or rather, should I say, Claude changed it to base underscore API underscore key, and it was able to work. Yeah, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So last week, actually, it's turned out that I sent notifications right last week, but the problem was just
your
the
front
front
end.
end, right? Yeah. So what everybody needs to do is, once you create your notification system, right? You need to go to your app and create a notifications dashboards of sorts, right? So you need to create your own panel where you're going to send notifications from, because that wasn't provided. You can actually copy as well from, let me see. There is the repo that Sohe had shared. So what I did is, after I created, like, I did the implementation, I also went to Sohe's handle, and because she did post about it, so there's a little tutorial around this, and she did post some links. Yeah, so she's got a post on the 13th of April, and there's a link to the GitHub, right? So this is a demo app that she's created over there. Well, that's somebody from the base team. If it's not her, then it's somebody from the base team has created this demo, right? So what I did is, after I created I went and implemented my notification system based on the base docs. I came and then I copied this, went to VS Code, and then I asked it to implement an admin dashboard for sending notifications and managing notifications, right? And then I pasted this and I say to it, compare or take, inspiration from this repo, this demo repo. So it was able to create something for me. And then also, let me show you this other app. What is one called? Okay, it's called Bodies. I'll show you two types of dashboards. Okay, so I created one for this app. Okay, so when you create this, also it's advisable to add your main wallet address, right? Preferably, I normally use the wallet address. I sign in with my to my base dashboard where I register all my apps, right? So there's a wallet address that I use, okay? And then I'm also using that wallet as like an admin wallet, okay? So when I create like an admin page, right, I tell, my VS Code to save that wallet address as the only admin. So I can be the only one to be able to log into this admin page, okay? So now what I did is, so the first time I created for the other app, so the DevRel Live app, okay? That's not it. This is DevRel Live. So I created so last week we were actually working on creating this notification system. So it actually works. I tested it out. So on that day, it had sent some messages. It was giving errors, but the messages were going out. But the issue was more of a front end issue, okay? So we're able to fix it, right? So now I can send a notifications with today's date is going to come up in the app. So it's just a simple thing. So how it works, right, is so there's a little function that a curl function that pulls the users that have opted into the notifications. So users need to like literally go to the base app and opt into notifications, and for them to be able to receive your notifications. So you can't actually send these to users who have not opted in. Okay, so so when I was building this, I actually told it, my coding agent to be able to fetch. So whenever I come to this page, it must fetch users that have opted into the notification systems and display those users. So now it will always display all the users, Then I have a nice list of users, that are actually using the base app. Okay. Then I can send any message to them. But now I noticed those messages were just like basic text, right? And then for the other app, I started experimenting with, I want feature-rich messages, because I noticed in some apps, like the actual messages that come in, like the trading messages in the base app, when you click on it, it actually takes you to a token or to a trading page or like to the buy section, So it actually like has some, like feature-rich, type of I don't know what you'd call it, but what do you call it?
Like a feature rich I'd say like text message, or like I think just like a text message, like a text.
Because the notifications on the base app can either look like just a text notification, right? But then it can also have like, I think, emojis, it's got the trading signals, it can have slightly much more. And then when you click on it as well, you can either create so that's another thing that people need to consider, right? So when I clicked on my notifications, it did not open anything, so it didn't even open a page for me to read it. So I think in my apps, I think I need to actually add something like there. You see that notification button? So I think this should actually open into like a notifications page, almost like a chat page. So I think I need to, anyone building an app on base needs to probably consider a space where people are going to open the actual notification. So it's one thing to send people a notification, but then the point of notifications is also that people, when they click on it, it takes them to either doing a transaction or doing some type of engagement on your app, right? So you can use it as a way to increase revenue or to increase some type of, engagement with your users, okay? So so there's actually a whole strategy, I think, that's required for notifications alone, right? So it got me thinking that like notification 1.0 is kind of like sending the old text messages like you were saying, Lloyd, right? But nowadays, these feature-rich messages. Nowadays, you get an SMS. It's got like the full color. It's got it loads an image, and then you can interact with it. You can click on it, and it takes you to some website. It's no longer SMSs now with just the URL link and just text. There's now feature-rich SMSs that you can get as well. Back in the days, they were called MMS, but now it's actually SMS, right? So I don't know if you've played around with those, Lloyd, or if you guys get those, but I've seen the mobile companies do send them on our side.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
get like the feature rich messages as well. And I
Yeah.
also do remember the old multimedia messages, the MMS, where you could send like
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
small, maybe like mini voice notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little mini videos and slide decks or whatever
Yeah.
images. Yeah. So yeah, so one thing to consider when you're creating your notifications, guys, is of course, you want to have your basic title, message section, uh this path. Okay, this is something optional that the AI did. I don't know what that is. I didn't ask for it, but it thought it was smart to put this. I think this is something that's in the actual it's actually in this demo notifications app. So I think it took inspiration from there. Okay.
Mm,
But yeah, you want to have a history. As you can see, the message I sent, okay, it actually went through. There we go.
mm,
So you want to have a history with a timestamp and everything, right? And then you obviously want to check out your opted-in users there as
yeah.
well. And then, like I was saying, what I did, so this was 1.0. So this is what we did on the call last week, Thursday, during builders office hours, I think. And then what I did over the weekend, I went and did this for another app, right? So for this one, I wanted those feature-rich messages, right? So you
Yeah.
see, I can click on that button there and then have rich notifications, right? So now with that, it's actually pulled out like some crypto like functions. So I can send a message that like kind of like lets users go directly into my app and swap. Okay. So these are features inside my app. Okay. So this is an app I built a long time ago. Let me show you guys the app, right? So we kind of understand like what's going on. So
I
this
remember
one of the apps I
bodies.
built last year is called Bodies, or for body count, right? It's like a
Yeah,
relationship
I
tracking
remember it.
thing. Yeah, it checks body count. So I wanted to create a feature rich notification system because this app is more like your kind of like your Instagram type of thing, right? So it requires slightly more advanced notifications, right?
Mhm.
So it's got a rating system, right?
Yeah.
um and then it's got a betting system, so you can actually can place a bet on those two people, what type of a relationship they had. So if they dated, then you can put your money, and then yeah, at the end of
Google.
every day or whatever,
Sorry.
it
I just had
settles.
a thought when you're showing when you're
Yeah.
mentioning this about like placing a bet in case people are dated. Imagine how this would look like if these were like AI agents. Like, AI agent
Yeah.
would come here and register like a profile, and you
Mhm.
could be able to see like the other AI agents it's dated, like
Okay.
that would be that would be
Like a type of
fun.
a prediction market. See how whether they've interacted, they've traded,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's so many ways you could spin this around. Actually, that's a good thought, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's one of the areas where I think I had built in some other features, but I hadn't put in there. Where there
Yeah.
is, let me see, where is the leaderboard for this app? Um,
Did you make
there's
any
supposed to be a leaderboard
additional
somewhere.
changes
Oh,
to this app,
yeah,
like from
yeah,
the
yeah,
last time you
yeah,
used
I
it?
can.
Yeah, yeah. I can see it looks
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that was a long time ago. I started playing around with it, I think this last week. And
Okay.
then, so I added things like your leaderboard. I think at some point I added tokens, like where there's a token for this app, a rewards program,
Mm,
but I don't think I've added a section for it, right? But anyway, let's get back to the notifications, right? So the whole
yeah.
point was, so for this app, because it's got like a lot of these social features as well, and betting and all that, the swapping. So I wanted
Token.
a notification system that's feature rich, okay? And that allows for those kind of functions like swap, buy a token. It could be a notification that takes you to the leaderboard or to the profile, or for you to claim, the daily rewards or whatever for betting, or I could have a custom one. So what it does is allows me to add an image and then extended body. So I'm still figuring all this out, like how do I then make it very compatible with the base app, to also look at what are the capabilities of the base app, right? So this is what I've gotten so far. So I just need to figure all this stuff out. But this is something that I'm sharing so that people can know that your notification should just not be a text, right? And that's the end game, right? It needs to
Can be feature
lead
rich.
your users on to an action, whether it's engagement, whether it's a swapping a token or buying a token or placing a bet or something, but it needs to also, it's like a sales, tool.
A call to
So at
action.
the end of the day, you could like say send notifications at the end of the week or at the end of the month. You could check which notifications gave you some return on investment. How many users, took made a financial decision based on which types of notifications. Then you can actually tweak your notifications over time, but then they need to be kind of like feature rich, right?
Yeah.
But however, some of these features will be limited to what the base app can handle, right? So I'm just gonna try it and see if I can break it, because let the team know. But I'll try and see what this allows, the extent of what it allows, and then from there we can learn what type of notifications can we build. And then it actually got me thinking that once we figure all this out, I can offer this maybe as a standalone, just this page alone, as a standalone app, right? Like a notifications app. So there could be a market for notifications apps, for example, right? Within the base app. So that's something that I was thinking about, to say, if we can get it right, then maybe other users might want to use it and don't have to keep, building from scratch. So not everybody should be building perhaps a notifications page from scratch. We could like literally roll it out with some custom features, custom capabilities once we figure those out. So so maybe Lloyd, that's part of our work cut out for us, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then you can see I've also put like an expiry date. So if you have some type of a promotion for your notification, you can add something like that, right? Yeah, and then what else is there? Okay, so this one also fetches users. You can see I've got one user signed in to the notifications. The history will go there. I haven't sent any to this app. And you can broadcast to everybody. Yeah, but ultimately, this is what I think I wanted to share, that notifications shouldn't just be text-based and then that's the end game. They need to, be linked to some type of an action within your app. Hopefully one that either inspires engagement or find some type of financial transaction, So whether you are giving an airdrop or you're giving rewards, but it must engage the users and get them to buy something. And I think notifications need to be pretty. So they're going to need to, you're going to need to start designing notifications a little bit and making them attractive. Okay. So if you look at your base app, I see a lot of notifications come with icons, the icons of the user, the icon of the app. But some, like when I look at the trading signals, Ethereum has got the like little graph going, Funny enough, the graph for crypto, when crypto is going up, it's a blue graph going down. When crypto is it's going down, it's a red graph going up. Like, it's so confusing. Someone needs to change that, right? So the current notifications are text based, but they allow some type of like emojis within the notifications, from what I've seen, right? There's obviously the follow buttons. What else is there? You can have a follow button, but that's if someone is following you. Yeah, but I think I can see emojis. Yeah, there's emojis on the current notifications. I'm looking at my base app. So it looks like currently it might be just text and emojis, but maybe we can play with color. Maybe there's a way to, So maybe there's a way to push, because some of the emojis have color, meaning, because I'm looking here, there's an emoji on one notification, it's got a padlock, yellow padlock. It's got the money thing sign, and the money is in green, the normal money color.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
looks like you can serve some type of color. So it means you could probably try and see if you can force your notifications to have a certain text color. Yeah,
I
so
think you
we'll
should be
test
able
all
to
of that
do
out.
that. Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah. I think you might be able to do that. You should be able to do that.
Yeah. So if you can send emojis, then it means you can probably send like
About text,
definitely
yeah.
ASCII emojis, right? You can also
Yeah.
probably send some type of other images that are like in that emoji format. So yeah, so if you are able to turn your own images into emojis or format, maybe then you can be able to get those through. But for me, I'm just more interested to see like also these actions, right? Whether it's a claim or a swap, some type of a feature. I would like to see that when someone clicks on a notification, it already takes that action in the app, So yeah, so that was my approach to building the feature-rich ones. Okay. So yeah, so while we're there, do you have anything, Lloyd, to add to this? Or Lloyd, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, your voice is gone down. Your sound.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. No, sorry. I think it was my mic. I might have been a bit
Yeah.
far. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, is there anything else we could add to this notification system, or?
I think for now, maybe just playing around like you mentioned, like the emojis. Obviously maybe sneaking in links in there, like you mentioned, that take you to like whether it's a token or like your homepage or something. But yeah, I think those would be the most ideal. But I think it just depends on how creative you are personally as like the developer, and what you're willing to kind of like experiment with, you know. But and also obviously like what type of constraints that you're building under, because you're obviously building under particular constraints, as not everything that you might think of per se or want to experiment with might be in line with like the constraints that are put on the base app, like for your app. But if you I think try to stick within the constraints, then you should have enough room to kind of know what you can and what you can't do, so you can then experiment from there. But definitely experimentation would be the easiest way to kind of just get your hands around what you can and can't do.
Definitely. Exactly. Yeah. Because all this is new tech. Like the notifications came out like what? Just over a week ago? Like almost 2 weeks ago now. And we spoke about it last week. So it's pretty new. So as the base team is launching this stuff, it's important that people use it, play around with it, report back to the base team if anything is broken or is not working, or if you have suggestions of how we can improve or the team can improve that. The base team is always open to that. You can even do like, okay, for this, I suppose you could do a pull request on the base repo if you have a suggestion, and then they will look at it, and then but there's different ways to make your suggestions heard. You can come to the Discord, make a suggestion. We always take it through to the team, so that's another way. Or go through your community leads, or your country managers, or your community ambassadors. Make those suggestions, and then your suggestions will be passed through. But in a lot of cases, I always encourage people, build something. If you have an idea, you have a suggestion, why don't you just build it? If you can, if you're in a position to build it as a little web app, build it as a little web app, have it available on the base. So when you make the suggestions, you've got something to show for it. So it's not just conceptual, because now we are in the one prompt build era, so there's no excuse. Okay. Yeah.
And that's
No excuse.
also something that me and my friend were actually talking about. We were like, seeing as how
Mm.
technology has improved where it does most of like the code writing, it's always a good idea to put effort on like the parts that maybe you didn't have a lot of attention on, right? Like because the AI does most of the coding, you don't have to spend time actually writing lines of code like what we used to do
Yeah.
in the last couple of years. That means you can then concentrate like all that energy to kind of, do things like find bugs or make sure that your code
Mm.
is written properly. You can still use the same AI to,
Yeah.
to go through your code because it's always like for me, one practice that I do is you can get like Claude Code. We've got 4.7 now, so you can get something like Claude
Mm.
Code 4.7 to write your code for you. But then
Mm.
you can still get other models like the new Kimi K26 or
Mm.
OpenAI's is it 5.6 model that
Mm.
came out or is coming out
Yeah.
to kind of also go through like your code, because
Yeah.
most of the times people think if you're just using one AI model to kind of check all your securities and it says, yeah, all the securities are done, then it actually
Yeah.
means all the securities are done, but it's not. Most of the times, if you use
Yeah.
another model, you find that there's a bunch of stuff that the model you were using, couldn't like pick up on. So it's just a good practice to just have like a few models just go at it, and check for
Mm.
vulnerabilities to make sure that your code is ideal. So yeah,
Yeah.
just a tip for
Definitely.
the vibe coders.
Yeah. Thanks for that input. And then while we are still talking about the notifications, right? So you have built your app, you are sending notifications. You can go to the base dashboard, right? Select your app over there,
Mm-hmm.
sign in, select your app, and you can come scroll down. You'll be able to see your analytics for your app. So this app I was showing you, this bodies app, body count app. You can see I'm the only user, right? So it's already pulling up my analytics. So once you register your app on the dashboard, you'll be able to pull out your analytics. It even tells you how many times I've opened it. So
Is
all I
this
was
in real
building to
time?
see is 14 times. It's close to real time. I think it updates after
Okay.
about an hour.
Okay.
But it's
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
close to real time.
obviously it needs to fetch. So
Mm-hmm.
it updates after about an hour, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. I'm not quite sure what the current interval is, but it obviously needs to keep running scripts that that fetch these analytics, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so you can see I've opened it 14 times, right? And I'm not sure I think it's counting from the base app, right? Because if I was using it maybe on a website, then it would be other. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
then the
yeah.
analytics
Definitely,
would
it
be
will be
here.
other.
Exactly. So if someone else
Yeah.
was using it maybe on the website or using somewhere else, but you can see I did open it on the website. I didn't connect the wallet. Maybe that's why it's not
It's
picking
not
up as a
reading. Yeah.
user. Yeah, let's try that actually. Now that you mention it, let me try and see. Oh no, I connected wallet. So it's signed in, right? Right? Or not?
It should
Oh,
body.
it is signed in. It's automatically signed in. I think this I'd set it up to have this injected wallet. But then okay, I'm not logged in. Okay. So maybe it's not logged in.
Oh,
Excuse me. Let me. Uh,
I'm also going to the website just to see if it's going to be able to pick up on me now. But we did mention that it takes almost an hour, I think. So it might not
yeah.
see me, but just in case it does, then
Excuse me, guys. Okay, let's have a look. Where are we? Okay, I'm in the app. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm joking.
no worries.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, let me just try and swipe and see. Um, Okay. All right. I made this app very naughty, so it's not for kids. Let me see. Okay, so let's see these ones with dating. Let me see. Okay, I don't have evidence. Oh, Amber Rose and Kanye West with dating. Okay. I don't want to rate anyone else. Okay, so let's see. Do I have $1 to bet? Let's see. I think these guys were in business, maybe, or maybe not. I don't have money to bet. Okay, no. So I'm not going to bet, but let me go and check if the analytics are pulling up in real time. Okay, let's refresh this. Okay, let's see here. Okay, no, nothing. So it's only, okay, so I'm clicked on base app. Let's see if
How
go
about
other.
other? Try
Okay,
refresh.
so
Yeah, I think you're
yeah,
right. I think it might take like
yeah, it
a
might
couple
take
of
some
minutes
time.
for it to show. Yeah, because I'm also on the website and I've
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah,
so you should be able to see me maybe in like a couple
yeah.
of
Because
minutes.
I do know, like, if you come and register your app on here, it takes about an hour for it to appear in the base app. So
Oh,
there could be that
okay.
time lag. But then again, maybe this is not connected. I see it says other, but I'm not sure if they've actually updated it to pull from other apps, because I know they're doing a lot of improvements. So if it's not coming up, then it means they might not have updated this feature. Okay.
Okay.
But either way, for the users accessing your app on the base app, there is the analytics here. There's the notifications that we're talking about there. If you go down there, you'll see your. I have no idea what CTR means. Click-through ratio, right? Oh, so it's the click-through ratio for your notifications. Okay, so it looks like it counts who has clicked through your notifications inside the base app, okay? And then it pulls up
Interesting.
this little pop-up. There's some analytics there. So saved,
I see it saved, removed, even
removed,
removed. Interesting.
enabled, disabled notifications. And then what does it say? Yeah, to update your notifications, view doc. Okay. Also, these are the actual docs. Okay. Okay. So it looks like they've got a nice little tracking system, right?
Mm-hmm.
For your notifications for your users. So yeah, and all this other stuff, right, is like which pages of your website, for example, users have used. So for now, you see I've accessed the homepage 12 times. I've gone to the leaderboard or any other pages twice. I don't have messages in the app yet, you know?
Actually interesting that it
And
actually has all this
yeah,
data, you know. It's very
exactly. Yeah.
interesting data to see, yeah. Because it would help you
Mm,
track as like, let's say, if you're like the owner of the app, for example, it would tell you like
mm,
which page is like liked the most, right? Or which page is visited the most. Obviously, other than the home page, because maybe it's always the
yeah.
first page that people see, but you will be
Mhm,
able to tell which particular page has got the most traffic, and that can
mm,
actually help you do more research to kind of figure out like why does it have way more um, traffic. So for example, if you have
mm,
like a trading page, maybe for tokens, and maybe you have a trading page for currencies, and let's say
mm,
stable coins and crypto, and then you find that more people visit the page for stable coins, or more people visit the page for crypto. I think it kind of
mm,
helps you as like the creator of that app to be able to use that to like your advantage, and also make it even easier for the people, because then you can already see
mm.
where most of the attention is like going. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's great to look
Yeah.
at it as like where the attention is going.
Yeah, and also, I mean, there's so many things you can click around. You see here, there was a total of 10 uses. That's how long I used this app. Um,
Yeah.
the median was 9 seconds per session, you know? So yeah. So there's so many little analytics that you can use to retain users. So if, for example, your users are only spending 9 seconds on average on your app, you might want to introduce something like rewards or say notifications that make users take another action. If all your
Yeah.
users are on the home page and then your trading page or your swap page or page to do e-commerce or buy stuff is somewhere else, then you might want to maybe bring that function on the home page, right? And
Yeah.
then offer certain things so to keep users longer on your app. Because the longer
Also,
someone stays in your app, the more chances that there are to, to create new habits, right?
yeah.
So this whole base dashboard, it's like designed to help you manage your distribution, your retention, and how to manage your users and how to, improve profitability. So there are so
Yeah.
many ways when you really start to look at all the analytics and details, man. Like you can literally like just print the screen and take it to Grok or Claude and say, Claude, these are the analytics of my app, right?
Yeah.
Have a look at my app. Help me draft a strategy. I want to increase more sales. I want to retain more people. And the AI is like literally going to look at this and give you one or two or three strategies, right?
Yeah.
But you need to come up with your own ideas because it's going to give you what it finds on the internet. But that's going to, jog your thinking as well. So if you
Mm-hmm.
come up with ideas and say, listen, I want my users to use the app longer, and while they're using after every 10 seconds or after every 9 seconds, I know my users drop off. So maybe I might have a pop-up screen to say, claim your reward. So you could say rewards, for example, if I put in rewards in my app, maybe at the 9 second mark, then every time I log in and I'm about to leave the app after 9 seconds, the
It
reward screen
appears.
pops up. I click on it, I'm stuck in the app for another 9 seconds, right?
That
That's retention. You see?
that's kind of
So,
like
you
when
know,
you were younger, you'd go to like maybe like the club, and then when you're
yeah,
about to leave, they play your favorite music. Yeah, it's my song, and you say that
you're gonna
10
dance.
times before you know it. It's been two
And you know what?
hours. So
Before you
yeah,
dance, you probably gonna dance, get thirsty, buy another drink after that song. You understand?
yeah,
And then it
yeah,
means now you need to finish your drink. So you're staying for another 2 songs or 3 songs. So that's retention. It's a very good example. But it's important that, we think of apps as like users as real and not just technology. They're not
yeah.
bots, right?
They're
So
not
this app,
bots.
the way I designed is not for AI agents, it's for human beings. So like what Lloyd you're saying, that's a great example. When you think of people as human like you, then you think, okay, how do I get people to stay?
Yeah,
Like you've said, Lloyd, you're in a party, it's got boring music. Maybe at the 9 second mark as well, or 8 second mark, I can get some nice songs to start playing. Where pop up song starts playing, so or something pops up and say, hey, select your favorite song in my app to become the theme song, or hey, collect this reward for staying on the
yeah,
app. So that's retention. And then when you get their attention, you might be able to sell them something else. Okay.
yeah.
So
You
yes,
know,
that's
you've
what
actually given
notifications
me
can do for you.
an idea.
Okay.
You can also pair that with like a sort of goal checklist, like
Mhm.
like if you have like maybe a goal section with like tiny goals that maybe appear when you tick all of them, you get maybe new goals. For example, use app for like 10 minutes, you
Yeah.
get like a little reward, like you mentioned. Maybe you get 0.5% off on like a particular purchase. Like just these
Yeah.
small things that you
Exactly.
can,
Bro, you
integrate
said it so
into.
well, man.
Yeah.
You said it so well. Yeah, like give
Thanks.
something,
Yeah.
get them to claim a reward, claim a discount.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these things are so easy to build in now because that's just a prompt. It used to be so
Mm-hmm.
difficult to build such things, into an app, right? You like
Mm-hmm.
literally would take about a month because you first need to, have your product requirements document, run it by your UI, UX
Team.
designer,
Yeah.
run it by your guy who's in charge of your team, your head of engineering. Then they talk to the front end guy. Then you look at the back end guy. Then have the testing guy or the guy that does the endpoints. Like, guys, building software was horrible. I think just over a year ago, because there were just so many people to like deal with, right? And get their
Yeah.
inputs. So there would normally be like 2 or 3 meetings on a new idea like this, right? From the time you have an idea, you send it out to the guys, you get your UX UI guy to do a template, then you call the guys into a meeting, they have a look at it, and then they need to, maybe go through it overnight, play around with the idea, test it, come back the next day, give you feedback, make sure everybody's involved, and then the thing gets built. Then it might
Yeah.
take like a week, then it gets tested, get the testing guy in, you test the whole thing, give some type of a feedback. Then like it was such a process, right?
Yeah.
But now you have all these OpenClaw can do it in one go. You have Claude can do it in one go in your VS Code,
Yeah.
including all the testing and everything. So it's so much easier now. So there's no excuse anymore, right? To
Yeah.
be able
There's
to
no
build
excuse.
the app of your dreams. Yeah. The only difficult thing now is just the distribution. Okay. And then this is where this dashboard comes in, right? So user retention, getting more users, referrals, etc., etc., etc. That's where base amplifies your message. But of course, you need to get onto the leaderboard. So you gotta do some things first by yourself, and then where's our leaderboard or app rankings, or they're just calling it rankings now. So yeah, so once if you are moving, and then maybe your apps makes it into the top 10 or top 20, then yeah, you can actually get a lot of support as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's just about it for the day. Anything else we need to talk about in regards to this notifications, base dashboard, building
Um,
strategies?
no, for the notifications part, I think that's covered, at least from
Mhm.
my side. Yeah. But on like a side note, I don't know if you noticed, there was like a few retweets from like different people, some people from base retweeting the
Mhm.
Vercel security leak. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
anybody
yeah, yeah,
who's on
yeah.
the cell, there's a couple of like accounts that have like kind of posted like some nice quick steps for you to follow. Just I think I will try to reshare some of them so you can go there and just kind of see how you can help secure your vessel, just in case you were one of those that were compromised, but also better safe than sorry. So there's a few, like I've
Yeah,
mentioned, a few nice threads you can go through with a few steps that will help you to just make sure that all your vessel security is on point. So that means changing environment keys, and with like swapping them with new ones. Yeah, basically just
yeah,
that type of stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So the short of it is Vessel got hacked. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, and while they got hacked, some accounts were exposed. So some
Yeah.
accounts were exposed, like so apps that were built on Vercel were exposed. But then Vercel has been sending emails, right?
Yes, they have.
They've reached out to the accounts that were exposed. I got in my accounts, I didn't find anything that was saying I was exposed, but I think it's always better to take precautions. So if you have an app that's already running, you have users, etc., or even if you're still building an app and you just might want to change all your environment, what do you call it,
Variables.
variables,
Yeah.
your secrets, anything that you had pushed to Vercel, you might want to just go and change that as a precautionary measure.
Yes.
Yeah, there's so many hacks going on now, guys. And apparently some people have got their hands on this thing called Mythos, this new Claude Code Mythos.
Yeah.
Claude Code Mythos. It's like this new, like an AI agent type of thing. And they say it can like literally hack any software in a couple of hours. So what used to take a hacker months to do or a month to do, it can do it in a couple of hours. So
Yeah, it's
yeah, so I've
pretty
heard some
insane.
conspiracy theories that some governments have got their hands on it and are testing it in the market.
Yeah,
So
they've
they're
actually
going around
been
tapping
giving
into
that
other software.
to to some
Hmm?
to some of like the big institutions to kind of, I think, test out, especially on like their own code before
Yeah.
it's ever released to the
Mm,
public. I know OpenAI also has a version of something similar that they were also
mm,
showing and kind of pushing just a few days ago. So that's also
yeah.
something for the OpenAI one. You can actually sign up for it, but you have
Mm,
to kind of dox yourself and stuff like that,
yeah.
so that in case you ever use it in like the wrong way, such as hacking and
Mm,
stuff, it's easy to kind of just
mm,
follow who actually did it. So yeah, that's something that
mm,
I've also seen.
yeah.
And also
So yeah.
for the developers, there's Claude made an update. They have something called Claude Design. So it's kind of
Mm,
like a direct competitor to things like Figma and these other design softwares that have existed
mm,
that maybe you've been using. So feel free to check it out and see how you can also use it in case you were finding it hard to use other programs and other softwares. So check that out as
mm,
well and see if how it can help you make your product a reality faster and better. Yeah.
mm. And I see Base, they actually just tweeted out 30 minutes ago something about Base Azul. So they are targeting a mainnet activation on May 13. So Base is
Oh,
is going to have its own standalone blockchain. So currently it's on the Optimism stack and they've been migrating. So they are targeting the mainnet activation for May 13. Okay,
so
you
do
know
they
what
have?
that means, right?
Yeah,
Haters gonna
yeah. It
say.
means
So guys, you start building
yeah.
apps, get active on the socials, get active in your communities, because May 13 is it looks like is the activation day for a date for the mainnet. So that's the base chain.
So
Um, so currently
just
it's
a quick,
been in L2 on
just a quick.
using the Optimism stack. Now it's going to be its own standalone. I don't know if it's going to standalone L2 or L1. I need to see this. I just saw this now. So
Yeah,
I actually need to find out what it's actually going to be. But I think it's going to be an L2, but not part of the Optimism stack, right?
like its
I
own
wonder.
separate L2. I should. We
I
should
wonder what it's going to
definitely.
be.
We should definitely. Oh, here I'm looking at the notification. Let me just.
Mm,
Let me just see what the AI can tell me on the base documentation. But yeah, it would be very interesting to see because I was also asking the same, like, is this an L2? That's like its own L2, like how the others like Optimism are, or is it like
mm,
something like completely different? So
yeah. But I think it's just breaking away from the Optimism stack because it forced them to be, they were part of Optimism. So there's all these
yeah,
fees that you gotta pay to Optimism if you're part of the
also.
Optimism stack. But then if you're a standalone L2 on the Ethereum network, then the only fees you're paying is the settlement fees on Ethereum on the mainnet.
Mhm.
So I think that's probably what's going on. But yeah, I'm gonna read this in detail. So everybody go to the base build. It's been posted on Build on Base. So Build on Base, you'll see there's an article called Introducing Base Azul.
Yeah, because I'm looking at like some of the documentation, and I can see they say
Mm,
that they had on April 20th. That was yesterday, right?
mhm.
It says activation timeline. So it says base Sepolia for Azul was activated
Oh, so the testnet. Oh, so they've. So does this
yesterday.
mean? Okay, so they're saying Base
Mainnet,
Azul is now live on testnet.
yeah, it's live
Okay,
on testnet.
so is Azul like their Sepolia, like their base? It looks like it, right? It's kind of like their
No, no,
testnet.
no. So
No?
the Azul is an actual full upgrade, but they released it
Okay.
on testnet for people to be able, I think, I think kind of play around with it before mainnet is released.
All right.
So whatever works on Sepolia will work on mainnet. I think that's
All right.
kind of it. I just had a question, but I think I'll also go through the documentation just to find out more. When it comes to our
Hmm.
applications, will they also be like automatically migrated?
Apps. I
Yeah, or
wonder.
apps.
I wonder.
Or do
I wonder.
we?
We might have to change something. Maybe because they might have. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, because we don't necessarily set anything on our end. So I think they can do it from the network side, right?
Yeah, they should
Hmm.
migrate from
I wonder.
migrating
But they
from
probably have
open.
built into. But the cool thing is that they're still ERC20 and there's these bridges. So they could like literally build a bridge, like an interconnecting thing, that doesn't affect the user on the one end,
Yeah,
maybe give a notice for users to migrate their tokens from one side to one side. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. And I see that they're saying they're running an Immunify audit competition from April 21 to May 4 with a $250,000 maximum reward pool for any critical vulnerabilities. So if you're into
oh yes,
security,
yes.
on things like the blockchain. There's a whole competition for you to identify any vulnerabilities in their network, in their chain, and it's up
or
to
if
two
you
hundred
have
and fifty
access
thousand dollar reward for.
to Mythos,
Yeah,
or if you have
yeah. If
access
I
to
did those,
Mythos,
yeah,
good,
yeah, I'll
good
collect
man.
most of that. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I think we're
Yeah,
going to discuss this in detail once we have more information. This just came up, it
yeah,
just popped up on my phone. Yeah. So I think on the next call on Thursday, we're going to talk more about what's happening with the base chain. We'll try and look for more information as well. If there's a test net and all that, we're going to test and see. Like perhaps we'll respond to the question that you just posed, Lloyd, to say how does that affect apps or that are already on base and transaction on base? Do users need to migrate or is this going to be done on the chain level? So yeah,
yeah,
we're going to have those questions on Thursday and by next week, Tuesday as well. So I think we've come to the end of our session. So I want to
yeah.
thank everyone that's joined the call. I want to thank you, Lloyd, as always. What's your last word or word of the day before we go?
Word of the day is we've seen like Base has had like a lot of updates. We've got
Mhm.
the Azure update that Google just gave us information about. Take your time, can be 5 minutes. Go through documentation just to see how it affects you as like a developer. How you can also position yourself for the upgrade. And if you're a
Mm,
builder, it's the same. Just I'll say be in the loop, like know what's happening and you know build with like the latest documentation and tools. Because I mean, if you're, let's say, someone like me who has an app maybe from like a while back, and then I go missing for like maybe 3 weeks or maybe like 2 months, and then I come back, I'm like, oh, so I updated my app, and then find everything has
mm,
changed. So it's always good to be in the loop. So yeah, let's
yeah.
build in the open, you know,
Mm,
tag
yeah.
us, show us what you're working on, and
Mm,
yeah, feel free to also text if you need any help. Always here to
yeah.
help and spare time. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. My word of the day is not really a word of the day, but Azul reminds me of a song and a drink. There's a song, Who Ordered Azul? from this song. It was actually nice. It was trending at some point. But yeah, Azul is a drink. So if you're one of those people that likes to turn up, that goes to the night scenes and you're turning up and you're buying bottles, Azul. It's a very pricey drink that you get. And the funny thing about Azul is that it's in this white, or at least the original one is this white, like it's like a porcelain type of bottle with blue on it. So I'm wondering whether the base team was inspired by this drink because it's like a tequila, right? So
Yeah.
it's pretty famous. So I wonder if they were inspired by this drink to call it Azul. But then again, at the same time, Azul is like it's like a station or something, like a distribution point in Mexico, but it's got connotations to the Mexican thing. So I wonder how they normally name this. But I do know that on the Ethereum blockchain, a lot of like Sepolia or a lot of the chains, the networks, the upgrades, they're normally named after train stations or bus stations, right? So on Ethereum, it was popular to name it after a train station. So it kind of like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember clearly the story, because a lot of them were, I think like train stations of some sort. So there's a story around why they come up with these names for these chains. And a lot of them, they might sound like something you've heard in the real world, but I believe it's got something to do with train stations or subway stations,
Oh.
or I don't know if bus stations are involved. So I'm assuming Azul is probably a station in Mexico. But yeah, it reminds me of a drink. So yeah, let's hope Pace will be buying Azul on the 13th for our base events. But yeah, no, it's been fun, man. We'll catch you
Yeah.
guys on Thursday, 1 p.m. CAT for the builders office hours. Okay. Thanks, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Thank you to all our viewers that have
Anytime.
joined us as always. Have a good evening, guys. We'll catch you on Thursday. Cheers.
BM, guys.